Testing. 1, 2, 3. Well, good morning, my friends. Today is Wednesday, April 22nd, 2020. And this is Stephen Wynn with the Loving the Coronavirus meditation course. It's part of my overall project of healing the wounds in the heart of America, called healingtheheartofamerica.org. And I usually take these first few minutes to give an overview of what we'll be working on in terms of the development of our heart. And then I start stirring the pot a little bit so everyone can get in touch with their own reactions or whatever it is they want to work on. So this week we've been working on the dimensions of the heart. Actually, a very powerful way to approach the healing the wounds of the heart. It just really brings them out quickly. The first day, Monday, we worked on the width of the heart, the power of having a wide heart, with the left side being the receptive side and the right side being the expressive side. Energy comes in from the left and out through the right. And yesterday we worked with the vertical dimension, the height of the heart, the optimism, the fire, the joy, the inspiration, really the ideal that we work with in our life. And we worked with the depth of the heart, the deep compassion, the empathetic nature. It ended up being an extraordinary tool for working with our stuff, to see it from the depth of our heart and how quickly it dissolves in seeing it from the depth of the heart, because from that level it's not a problem. It's easy to love it, easy to be with it, easy to honor whatever stuff is coming up, because that depth of heart includes everything. And we become richer, have a richer life when we include everything rather than trying to get rid of it. Getting rid of it has its place, believe me. So this morning we'll work with the forward and backward dimension of the heart, the length of the heart, you could call it. We've played with this in a very similar vein in the swinging breath, energy coming in from the back and out to the front, and then back in to the heart and back out to the back. But we'll just get more deeply into that. And it leads us with two things. The energy coming in from the back of the heart, when we are open and receptive to the invisible realms behind us, supporting us, encouraging us. We call that a heart that is guided, the guided heart. And what a wonderful idea or premise that we can live a life of divine guidance. Our back is traditionally the most sensitive and receptive and really a vulnerable spot of our body. And if we speak of someone being stabbed in the back when we're betrayed, or we think of when we're protected, someone has my back. And what we discover when we start experiencing that and opening up our back to this divine guidance behind us, we discover there's not just energy there is intelligence. And this quality of the intelligence is the guidance. One of the challenges is that behind us there are many beings calling, whispering to us. All of our physical ancestors are back there. Our spiritual ancestors are back there. And they have different whispers. I know one woman who heard very clearly, said a very deep experience, the deep pain and anguish of her ancestors. And she realized she had to help them. They were crying to her, stuck, saying, "If you don't help us, who will ever help us?" And as a result of that, she's taken on a great deal of karma and lived in her heart. There's a mixed blessing there. A lot of car accidents, a lot of this, a lot of that. Our job is to look at the deep desires of our heart, the mission of our heart when we were born, and filter all these whispers through that guidance, through that deep matrix of our heart. I'm not saying this woman was wrong, not at all. She's had fabulous spiritual growth, fabulous. One problem is, well, I sort of mentioned it already, these are distortions, means too much influence, too many beings, which shows up as, if you're a person who has too many urgent things to do all the time, it means we're not filtering this guidance properly. So that's just something to work on. Believe me, it comes. Our heart is that filter. And as we move more into our heart, it's who we are. The other side of an open heart in the back is a cut-off heart, where we have no receptivity, we feel no guidance, no encouragement, and no support. We feel very much alone. So if that's your experience in life, just know that by opening up this dimension of your heart, that can all shift. Then we move into this driving heart. I think I'll talk about that more later because we're already about 7 minutes into this. But that's the forward energy of our heart, moving forward. It creates a powerful, unstoppable, courageous, charismatic, generous, magnanimous, natural leader quality within us. So those are the great blessings, and of course there's challenges and distortions to that. Just very briefly, easy to overload if you have an open forward heart. So we want to choose carefully what we do. We need connections and a network and alliances with people who can sense the environment for us, because we can charge forward as a classic bull in the china shop if we have this wide open forward heart. And the other distortion is that if you find yourself getting addicted to getting things done, bang, 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 you become addictive and you just live on that energy rather than very carefully choosing your goals to accomplish. Now, the problem with it is, if we have no goal and we have a strong, open heart going forward, we can become paralyzed. So, just a wonderful framework for this forward and backward dimension of our heart energy. So let's just briefly stir the pot. I published in my email that would do it about the opening up of America, or the nation, or the world, I should say, opening up the economy, coming out of lockdown. And it's sort of, I came to that topic because of all the protests that are going on. So when you think about returning to a more, quote, normal life with less restrictions, less lockdown, maybe no lockdown, what comes up for you? Disbelief that people can be so foolish because the virus can come right back in a heartbeat? Or delighted with joy because you've been so frustrated that we've been locked down. And I came to this, I heard this somewhere, I'm not quite sure, sort of a conglomeration. We've been locked down because of a quasi-scientific model that's been proven to be wrong. This vast, millions of people dying. And, that these models aren't science, these models are models, and if you have bad inputs, you have no scientific result. And we're living our lives and killing our economy. And these people who, some people are saying have gone stir crazy, and because they've been isolated, they've gone crazy, because that does happen. And they're saying, no, we're frustrated because we can't pay our bills. We can't pay the rent. We can't work. I can't put food on the table. And so you have the two sides. What comes up for you about all this? Where are you frustrated? Where are you stunned at the other people's feelings or thinkings or postures or beliefs? And just notice that energy. Just notice it, and we'll take that as a time to notice where we are now, hopefully stirred up a little. And let's just move into our hearts so that we can begin this process of loving this virus, loving this pandemic, loving ourselves just the way we are, loving our neighbors just the way they are, loving everyone just the way they are. So let's begin by taking our hands, as we do traditionally, put them over our heart. And just say good morning to your heart. Allow the energy in your hands, coming from the heart, to circle back into your heart. And just notice what that does for you. How does it change our state, our experience, our focus? And just let your hands down. And let's sit up straight. Begin our process of heart rhythm meditation. And just begin by sort of aligning the spine, letting the head float over the spine. For most people, that means pulling the chin in, tilting the head forward. And just begin watching your breath, noticing your breath. How free, how smooth, how noisy. Compare your nostrils. Compare the inhale to the exhale. which is deeper, which is longer, slower, faster. And now let's begin having a full exhale and a full inhale. Full exhale means abdominal muscles all the way back toward the spine on the exhale. And on the inhale, the abdominal muscles just relax slowly, steadily. Let the abdominal area fill up first, and then the lungs. Deep abdominal breathing. Steady, gracious, magnanimous breath, meaning no hyperventilation, not a quick breath here. Full, slow, stable. And again, notice what happens when we fill our bodies and our minds with life force. How much quieter do we become? Do you feel energy, vibration, anything inside your body? We don't mind, we just notice. Whatever happens is fine. And now let's get to the heart of heart rhythm meditation, where we connect the rhythm of our breathing with the rhythm of our heartbeat. And as we connect these two rhythms, the third pulsing of the body starts to join in. The cerebral pulsing of the cerebral spinal fluid up and down the spine, into the brain, purifying and cleansing the brain. So we do this by inhaling to the count of 8 heartbeats, full inhale, full exhale, exhaling to the same count. Could be 6 or 10 or 12. Use your name of your heartbeat if you've found one. Feel your pulse if you need to, or just count. Hold the breath a little bit and you'll feel your heartbeat. And we'll just continue this way for a few minutes. And again, notice what happens. That was about 3-4 minutes there. Not a very long time. How quiet are you? How connected do you feel to your body? How present in your body are you? How present in your room? Now I'd like to keep breathing, connected to your heartbeat. I'd like to just explore another avenue of the heartbeat, what we call the pulse. By now, most of us are feeling the heartbeat in our heart. It's a very strong feeling. But as part of this process of moving the energy forward and backwards, it's sometimes useful, not critical, but useful, to be able to feel your pulse in different parts of your body. So could you just put your attention on your hands for a moment and see if you might feel the pulse beating in your hands. And you know how we pull the energy directly into our heart as we breathe at times? It may help to breathe the energy in through your hands, up your arms into your heart, and then back out through your arms into your hands. It may be helpful to feel the pulse in this way. And we're not actually doing anything with the pulse at this point. We're just feeling it. Filling up our heart, exhaling, feeling the pulse there. And just notice if you feel it, wonderful. If not, don't worry about it. It's just something to play with. Now let's see if there's another place we can feel the pulse in our body. And here we want to go up to the center of our brain. Sort of behind our eyes, where our third eye is, so to speak. And just see if you can't perhaps breathe in through the forehead and down into the heart as a way of noticing the pulsing of your body inside your head. To inhale, bring the energy in, down into the heart, and exhale, up the spine, into the head, out through the eyes. Maybe take the energy out a couple feet past your eyes. And pull the energy back in on the inhale, in through the eyes. Stream of energy. Feel the pulsing in the head. Move it down, energy down to the heart. Again, let the energy come back up through the spine, into that third eye area, and out through your eyes. Energy going out a foot or two, whatever distance is comfortable. Just see, we're just exploring. It's the first time. Don't beat yourself up if you're not feeling it. And now let's shift our attention where our pulse is. And see if you can sense your pulse in your feet. And here we'll just do the earth breath, pulling energy up through the earth into our feet, up into our heart, keeping that count of 8 beats, but we want to feel it in our feet. You know, we've been going through a very advanced series of meditations these past 2.5 weeks. This gets even deeper, but I actually have a lot of confidence that most of you will start to feel something, even if it's just a little tingling in your feet. It's okay. It's a start. But just see if you can't feel your feet slightly expanding and contracting, pulsing with your heartbeat. This is really useful for maintaining the circulation in your feet. If you have trouble with circulation in your feet, this is the one. And let's just let that go. Again, no judgment. For most people, it's a little bit harder to feel it in your feet, to be perfectly honest. But I think this group can get it. And now let's go with your attention to the solar plexus. That's right at the base of the rib cage in the center. Just right straight down from the heart. And just start breathing in there. Just like the fire breath. Let's just do the fire breath. Inhaling with slightly open mouth into our solar plexus. And hold it there. Hold it for maybe 8 counts, something like that. Start to really feel the heartbeat there. We're feeling the pulse there in the solar plexus. Very close to the heart, easiest of all of them to feel. And then exhale through your nostrils, energy going out through your heart. And again, inhaling through slightly open lips. Into the solar plexus, hold it. 8, you can do 16 if you want. And exhale. Through the heart. So this really builds up the process of pouring energy out through the heart forward. Just continue that with this just intention now, not of just building fire in the system, but of pouring light forward. The heart is like this beautiful sun within us. It's this energy is coming from the sun center. The solar plexus is the depth of the heart. So perhaps put your hand a few inches before your heart. Don't touch it. Keep the same fire breath. Inhale. Hold the energy there. And then let the light come out through the heart and go forward and see if you can't feel that in your hand, some tingling in your hand. It's just a practice. Breathe in through open lips. Fill up the solar plexus with energy. Hold it there a little bit. And exhale through your nose and feel the energy coming out through the front of your heart. And can you let that light go out even further still? Could you let that light go out through your day, greeting everyone you meet, opening the way before you, clearing the way of all obstacles, allowing everyone you meet to be receptive to the deep desires of your heart. Inhaling through slightly open lips. Hold. You don't have to hold, but you can. And exhaling through the nose. Let that light go forward. Now, if you have clear guidance already on what it is you wish to accomplish with your day, or with your year, or the rest of your life, could you pull that energy in, fill up the solar plexus, send the light up to the heart, send that light forward, filling that deep wish of the heart, that deep goal that you have, with light, with love, with power. It may be a very faint experience for you right now, but please believe me, as you practice this more and more, it becomes really strong. And you literally send your heart energy out before you. And it literally opens doors for you. The divine qualities that come with this driving heart, this forward motion of the heart, we become powerful. That's a divine quality, power. Unstoppable, invincible. This is the invincible heart, particularly connected to guidance. We become courageous, charismatic, generous. Our heart is always giving. It starts with energy and light like this, and as we become more and more accomplished with this energy, we're generous in every level of life. We can never give what we don't have. Here, we develop the ability to have, to accomplish, to achieve, and we can be generous with it. We become magnanimous and gracious. It's a giving heart, giving forward like that. We become natural leaders. Now let's let that sit. I wanted to practice that one alone by itself. And let's go to the guided heart and allow our level of guidance to grow dramatically. So just check, just to make the intention. Is it okay with us if we receive divine guidance for our lives? Whatever your answer is okay. Some of you may say, I want the guidance to come from my own heart, my own higher self, and that's perfect. Could we allow guidance from our own higher self? It's absolutely perfect. His back, as I mentioned before, is a very vulnerable spot for humans. It's a weak spot. That's what's feeling like they've been stabbed in the back, that phrase comes from. When we're betrayed or when we're protected, someone has my back. once we receive clear guidance, one of the great divine qualities that comes forth is certainty, faith, confidence, a very intelligent faith and confidence. Would it be okay with us if we lived in a place of knowingness, where we know that we know that we know? This is guidance. Once we have this knowingness, it all falls into place, because it is not we who are doing all of this. It's the great force of nature that we have aligned with. And that force of nature does this work for us. That's the real value of guidance. We see it, we get it, we know that it's true, so we align with it. That's another value here. The divine quality of the heart that develops is truth. The deepest truth comes forward, not the truth of the mind, of the ego, of the intellect. They have their values. So now what we want to start doing is inhaling into the heart from the back to the count of 8 heartbeats, or whatever your number is. And then exhale forward, just like that swinging breath. Only we're going to just do this direction like this. Inhale from the back to the count of 8 heartbeats. Allow the back to open up. The heart fills up. When your inhale is full and complete, exhale, going forward with that energy. Is it okay with us? Just keep breathing that. Connect to the heartbeat. Is it okay for us to exude confidence? Inhale from the back, exhale forward. Is it okay for us to walk by faith and not by sight? And just keep breathing. Stuff may come up, it's okay. Add it into your breath. If a fear of bad guidance comes up, or fear of walking in faith and making a mistake comes up, don't worry. Welcome it up. Love it. Add it to your breath. In from the back. Exhale forward. Spreading that out into your world. Inhale from the back. Is it okay with us if we know that we know that we know, with such certainty and such clarity, that we enlist the power of the unmanifest beings to organize this for us? This is how we open up our heart to good fortune, to support from the invisible beings. Is it okay with us if good fortune falls on us unexpectedly? All as a result of our alignment with this great force of nature, this great force of evolution, this great divine plan. And now let's apply this openness, this guidance of the heart to our current situation in the world, to this pandemic, to this coronavirus, the COVID-19 virus. And just keeping up this breath, let's just ask for the collective guidance of our country, of the country where you live, of your community, of your state. When is it safe? When is it smart? When is it intelligent to end this lockdown and move back into more of a normal economic mode, going back to work, opening businesses, some level of interaction? And inhale, ask that question, spread it out. In this case, let's go back into the swinging breath, where we pull the energy back into our heart on the inhale from the front, and exhale back to the invisible realm behind us. Inhale still into our hearts, fill up, spread out. Exhale with us. Then inhale, pull the energy from the front into our hearts. Fill up our hearts and exhale. Return the energy and the information to the unmanifest realm. Let's continue this swinging breath with this question of guidance. And we're doing it as a group, that we might reveal this to the collective heart of our communities, of our states, of our nation. Would it be okay with us if this answer to when and how to safely open up our world again, our industries, our stores, our restaurants? When is it safe? How can we do it smoothly and effortlessly for the benefit, the highest good of everyone involved? And let's just pull into our hearts for a moment, or maybe into a circle around us, all of those politicians who make these decisions. Could we allow them to enter this circle that we've created, this center, this circle of light and love? And could we allow them to absorb the depth of guidance, of love, of intelligence, of support as they reach these decisions? Could we just set aside our personal feelings and help them to reach what's best for our communities, for our state, for our government? And now let's thank them for their service, and let them go. And now let's just check to see if any internal resistance to any of that came up for anyone. Or if you have some other reaction. And the theme is, when do we open up? Talking about the protesters, and how on one perspective they're reckless, endangering lives. On another they're saying the models are flawed. It's not as bad as we think. Death rate is not any more, mortality rate's not any more than the flu. Whoever is right, we're not here to judge that right now. What we're doing is examining our own energetic reactions to these groups or to whatever is up for you. And whatever is there, could you pull it into your heart and see it from the eyes of your heart? Whatever disliking is going on, whatever judging is going on, whatever reaction is going on, could you just love that? Welcome up that reaction. You don't have to love the other people. Right now we're just loving the reaction. Could you love your reaction and let that shift into peace, into love? We don't have to surrender our common sense. Not at all. We just surrender the energy. How do you feel? Can you welcome it forth up? Can you let it go? Can you love it? Can you be with it? And now I'll ask if you can go a little further, just for your own sake, because it'll be a powerful process for you. Can you see the people who disagree with you? Can you recognize that they have exactly the same connection to the divine that we do? Could you allow yourself to recognize that at the very deepest levels of life, I'll call it that universal heart, that we are all connected? And could you greet that part of themselves? Could you greet their highest self with appreciation, with respect, with adoration? Because higher selves are glorious. And if it's hard to do that, can you pull up your own reaction and resistance again and hand it over, offer it to your higher self? Can you see through the eyes of your higher self for a moment? It's like seeing through the eyes of your heart. Could you look at that opposing viewpoint through the eyes of your heart, through the eyes of your higher self? And what do you see? How do you feel? And with that, to the degree that you can, let's just bow down and acknowledge one another in this circle of our group here, our towns and cities, our states, our nation, and our world. acknowledge the extraordinary spiritual basis of everyone on this planet. That shifts the world, doesn't it? Okay, so let's call that a good place to end this meditation. And just notice and acknowledge your experience. Notice the space and places you've been to. Allow yourself to give yourself some love and approval for what you've just done. A lot of stretching in that meditation. When you're comfortable, feel your feet planted on the floor. Open your eyes when it's easy. Notice your room, your reaction, your relationship to the room, to the planet. Do you feel less connected or more connected to this world? For me, it's a big more connected.